Greg Neuendorp raises cattle in northern Michigan. Time in the saddle is one of the best parts of the day for this fifth-generation farmer. But these days, he's spending lots of time holed up in his home office. Why? Neuendorp and other small farmers are fighting the government's plans to identify and track every single farm animal in the country. It's called NAIS, or National Animal Identification System.
Our primary interest is protecting the food supply by having a rapid system that can reach out and address the needs for the primary food animals.
On October 8th, Michigan ag officials arrived on Greg Neuendorp's farm with a search warrant. The problem? Neuendorp refused to allow the ag officials to put radio frequency identification tags on his cattle.
Pressure forced Neuendorp to give in that day. But his story spread rapidly in farming communities, making him the face of a grassroots opposition movement.
The tag goes in the air, they give me a premises ID number. Now they got a national number on my cattle, they got a national number on my land. I might still technically own the animal, but they're controlling what I can and can't do with it.
While this may be the law in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Indiana, the USDA insists the federal ID program is not mandatory.
It can, it will, and it should work on a voluntary basis.
Still, privacy experts say many USDA programs, like this one for sheep and goat producers in New York, already require an NAIS number. And small farmers like Virginian Scott Wilson worry about the cost of buying tags and tracking animals. Tagging every chicken could put Wilson out of business.
To be effective, they're going to need 100% participation in this program. And that is, really, I think, going to put an undue burden on us as small farmers.
The USDA wants to be able to track animals quickly in the event of a disease outbreak. It believes NAIS will do that and help encourage confidence in the safety of our food supply in the eyes of both consumers and global markets. Like it or not, NAIS is quickly becoming reality. More than 1.5 million RFID tags are spread across some 400,000 farms today. The USDA is now accepting bids for another 1.5 million. And the latest development, implantable devices for livestock. Pets aren't supposed to be part of this program, but activist Barb Haywood is not so sure. She and others in the dog world say mandatory pet chipping is already happening in many communities.
A microchip is not a benign device. A microchip is a data collection device. A data collection device that's designed to collect data on not just your dog, but you.
Mandatory pet chipping is the law in places like Stockton, California and El Paso, Texas. Pet chip companies publicize heartwarming stories about lost animals being reunited with their families. But what about health concerns? Privacy expert Catherine Albrecht wonders how many pet owners know about the cancer studies she recently uncovered. You can see images from the studies here, which show chip implants that caused malignant tumors in lab rats and mice.
It may not be such a good idea to force people to microchip their family companions if it's possible that there is even a slight chance of a cancer link there.
Another concern is that animal implants may speed up the growth of the human implant market. That's because Digital Angel, a major manufacturer of animal chips, is owned by the same company that makes the human implant VeriChip. Since the FDA approved VeriChip in 2004, it's set up shop in more than 900 hospitals. VeriChip assures patients that in a medical emergency, a simple wave of a scanner could correctly identify them and their medical information. But VeriChip is working through health concerns of its own. Susan Byrne received her chip in July and says her arm still hurts.
The next day, that's when I really felt discomfort. I felt like I was having an injection 24/7, like the needle was still in my arm.
Byrne says VeriChip told her that she was the first patient to ask that her chip be removed. But she questions that. VeriChip did not respond to our calls on the subject. Critics of the VeriChip also worry that human implants will one day be mandatory.
There is actually a growing concern that an HMO or an employer could actually require a person to be microchipped to either get insurance or to get to keep a job.
So far, Wisconsin, North Dakota, and California have all passed laws forbidding the mandatory chipping of people. But for many animals, it may be too late.
We're a very small voice right now. that is going against the tide, going against this, saying, hey, this doesn't make sense.
What makes sense to both sides is safety, but it seems no one can agree at what price. Heather Sells, CBN News.